Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Appreciate you tuning in. So, alcohol, I mean, that's probably been one of the hottest topics in the past 5 or so years, right? We see it, everyone's stories over YouTube, before and after photos on LinkedIn, their posts, etc., which is great. It really is. People seeing benefits from reducing or completely stopping alcohol. I personally have as well. I just want to start off by saying that I am fortunate because I have a great balance and a good relationship with alcohol. I still drink, around Christmas time with my family. I love that. Special occasions, friends, wedding, etc. I've never been a huge drinker. I've had a few drinks on the weekend or a few drinks every other weekend. But over the past 4 months, I've had a grand total of 3 beers. So I've effectively been sober for these past 4.5 months. And I thought this was just a great time to kind of release this video as we've been indulging over Christmas and we go to the inevitable dry January. So let's just kick in straight away, shall we? How did I feel? So, mentally clear, this was the biggest one for me, especially changing career and starting up my own business. Being mentally clear, being able to show up every day, not have to worry about having a groggy head the next day, or, if I scheduled a call for this day, I couldn't drink the night before, or whatever it might be, just having that mental clarity to perform, to think, to communicate better. For me, it really does affect me when I have a few drinks in terms of my mental clarity the next day. So being at 100% and firing on all cylinders was really the main benefit in terms of a mental standpoint. Physically, I just felt lighter and more energetic. I could notice it when I was on hikes or in the gym or just general like daily movement. You're not as bloated, you're not carrying that water weight, you're not carrying extra weight from alcohol. So just being lighter and energetic, I dropped a few kg and it made a really big difference. My mood was a big one, so consistent and positive mood. I really find that when I have had a drink, the next day I'm not as bubbly, I'm not as charismatic, I'm not engaged in conversation. So just having a nice, consistent, positive mood every day was a huge benefit for me. The domino effect of habits and lifestyle. So we have a positive domino effect and a negative domino effect. So let me just paint the positive domino effect first of all. So without drinking, I had a quality night's sleep. We all know how important sleep is. So I had a really, really good night's sleep. When I would get up in the morning, I'd feel fresh, I'd feel alert, and that would then make me more inclined to go for a workout. I'd have a great workout, at least an hour, do some cardio, do some weights. I'd feel good during the workout because my mind was clear, and physically as well, I've noticed great differences from not drinking as much. Then after the workout, this then proceeds into making healthy food choices through the day. You feel good about yourself. So I'd have my eggs and salad, I'd have my fruit and Greek yogurt, I'd have a healthy dinner. This is a whole nother actually video to get into about eating healthy because it really doesn't have to be boring. But then, yeah, healthy food choices. And then this in turn, consistent energy through the day, consistent mental clarity, and just a great mood. So I won't ramble on about the negative domino effects because it's effectively just the opposite of what I mentioned there. We all know what it's like having a hangover and what you're like that day, right? So the positive domino effect of not drinking just cascaded in, if that's the right word, into my next day. It was much easier than I thought, which was great because the first initial part, I'd probably not been like a month really, other than dry January, without a drink. And so as soon as I got over that hurdle, then it just became normal. I didn't feel like I needed a drink. I didn't want a drink. And I was by the beach a lot this time as well, where I'd normally have like a cocktail or whatever. So it just became normal not drinking, not thinking about it, and just getting on with everyday life and it not being a factor. I also realized that I just preferred how I felt this way. Like I said, I still have the occasional drink and I still enjoy it, but I much prefer getting up in the morning fresh, getting a good workout and being in a good mood, as opposed to those 3 or 4 hours in the evening of having those alcoholic drinks. I personally just prefer, and that's kind of my perception of fun now. My perception of fun isn't going to the pub and having 5 or 6 pints. My perception of fun is getting up early, going for a hike with a friend or a workout, going for a brunch in the morning, feeling good, etc. So and I've also lost that old negative part of me in terms of when I used to drink by myself. I think that's the danger point, because you start to get into your own emotions and feelings. And for me, I was one of those people that when I have a few drinks, I get quite emotional. Some people get aggressive, some people get sleepy, energetic, whatever. I was kind of the emotional um, effect when I was drinking. So I've lost that old negative part of me, which I really, really enjoy now, because now I kind of just look ahead at the future, positivity. I don't look back on all the times and kind of reminisce and that kind of stuff. So how did I do it and break the cycle? First of all, was changing my environment. So getting out of the city really was the main thing for me, because I find that cities are very, very pub central. So I wanted to get out in nature. I surrounded myself with different people, etc. So changing my environment was a big one. Stronger mindset to say no. Like, I realized just like how weak I was, and how, yeah, weak my mindset was for not having the ability to say no. And that kind of goes as well with like the ability of not saying no to ice cream or burgers or pizza. And like, if I really wanted good mental clarity and good body composition, like, why am I so weak to not do this? So I just said enough's enough, and like just sort my mindset out, get stronger, and get the benefits. Trying in social situations, this was actually probably one of the biggest surprises, especially when social interactions with friends. I now really like to be engaged in conversations. I like to be a good listener. I like to be a good communicator. And when I'm sober without a drink, I can perform at 100%. I found that when I do have a drink, my listening is impaired. My ability to get out my points and articulate them is less when I've had a drink. So I actually prefer it in social situations, not having a drink, because I enjoy the good conversations with people. And then lastly, time is the best healer. So like I said, the first initial month is probably the hardest, but then once you get over that hurdle, like anything, we all know that time is the best healer, and then it just gets easier and easier. So short and sweet. I know I probably went over my 5 or 7 minutes that I wanted to keep to, but I just wanted to share my story of not completely stopping alcohol, but just reducing it. And yeah, it's a movement, and you can see why, because there's so many more benefits to negatives. So comment below, questions, fire them at me. Appreciate you listening.